We have a striker who scores. We've won 3 out of the last 4. Has West Ham changed? What have I done to this club?
This is a family. This ain't a football club.
Hello there and welcome to the next episode of the West Ham Career. Trying to get West Ham to rebuild. Firstly, we're going to look through these prospects. We have 3 elite prospects. Bright Ibrahim, he's a goalkeeper. Doesn't look too bad, but needs a bit of work to get into the first team. I mean, it is a Premier League club after all. Vasilis Kloritos, I don't know if I even pronounced that right, is a centre-back. 5'11", looks pretty decent, 11 tackling already, 16 aggression, and looks like he's going to be one of those players who is going to be pretty good later down the line. And then the third one, Shaori Biadu, a striker slash forward, looks pretty quick, pretty good flair, 11 finishing so far. At 15 looks pretty good, but it's all about development these days. We have a couple more. Liam Charles, no, we're going to try and pronounce his name. A couple Greek sounding names, and then a couple like that. Pretty strong squad, 3 elite, 5 top, 2 good, 6 decent, and 0 poor, which is pretty good. Anyway, let's get from pretty good to even better with our recent fixtures. If we get on our fixture schedule since that Manchester United game in the last episode, we had a 1-0 loss against Brentford, which wasn't too good. And then we had Bournemouth, where we went 2-0 up after 3 minutes, but then threw it away to lose 5-2 to Bournemouth. And then I decided to change the formation a bit, because honestly, something needed to change. A 1-0 win over Liverpool kicked off everything. A new signing in January, Mohamed Darami, scored in the 6th minute, giving us all 3 points at Anfield. Over to Craven Cottage, and Tommy Conway decided to be our only striker that's actually scored goals this season, getting a hat-trick. Calvin Bassey got an early goal and a goal in the 90 plus 3, but all 3 points came back with us. At home, a 1-0 defeat against Manchester City. We did score in this game, but it was ruled out for offside. And then Tommy Conway decided to score 2 more goals as we beat Aston Villa away from home again. Looks like our away form is a lot better than our home form, but honestly, we'll take any wins we can get. Anyway, Wolves and Crystal Palace in this episode, and then we're going to end the episode at end the season next episode with Newcastle and Leeds. So let's have a look at that league table. We are not in the bottom 3. We are just outside the bottom 3, but there is quite a bit of a gap now. Up to 17th, 7 games left of the season. We do have a game in hand as well. 32 points to Nottingham Forest, 26. Looks like we might be safe as long as we keep this form up a little bit. Let's see how high we can get in the table. Manchester United in 10th. Who's top of the league? Tottenham. Wow. Just look at that team we beat last game, Aston Villa, who are 4th. So Wolves, who are 14th, and then Crystal Palace, who are 15th. Let's try and get as high as we can in the table. Here's the new formation that we're playing at the moment. 3-4-3. If I look at the in possession, it is a little bit easier to read. Cresswell, Todibo, and Goose are starting the back 3 with Hermansen in goal. Diouf, Basuma, Ward-Prowse, and Walker-Peters making up the middle 4. With Jerome on the left, Marlon on the right, and then Tommy Conway. If you look at goals in the whole team, Mateus Fernandes has got 7. Tommy Conway's got 5. Phil Cruz got 4. And the other striker, Callum Wilson's got 3. So I think it's a good idea that Tommy Conway starts up front. Anyway, let's get into that first game. To what they have in real life. Dan Neil on the bench. But honestly, I don't think they're signing anyone else. Which isn't a good sign for Wolves, but they're out of the relegation zone, so doing a bit better than real life. Right then, 11 minutes in. Seems pretty even so far. This isn't a formation for like domination or even possession, but long balls like that, how Juve in behind the West Ham team, and Tommy Conway does have it in the net, but it is disallowed for offside. Literally, we have like 20% possession against most teams, and with Wolves playing a pretty similar system, they have two attacking midfielders instead of two wingers. It's going to be quite a tight game. It looks like Wolves are dominating possession, but we're the first team to put the ball in the back of the net. A pretty tight game. Bellegarde to Totti at the back for Wolves, dragging it forward. Up to João Gomez for Lopez. Evades the press, has a shot off the crossbar. Hermansen's been pretty good in this one. Well, since the last couple games, decent formation change. Looks like it's helping him out quite a bit. Here we are then, half time, 0-0. Not even surprised about this one. We got literally 25% possession, like I told you. 15 shots though, and 5 on target to Wolves, 3 and 1. Maybe we can get a goal. It's a pretty decent formation for just keeping the ball out of the net, and maybe we can nick one on the counter. Here we are then into extra time. We have had 1 XG, but honestly, this formation doesn't quite work that well against teams we are expected to beat. Just a lot of possession for Wolves, and them not really doing anything with it. Jose Sarr looks to be their man of the match. Are they going to nick one in the last minute? Strand Larsen is in the back of the net, but it is disallowed. Looks like we're going to get away with a point in this one. It's not a bad point, but it's not a good point either. Checking that goal. And it is offside. Into the last couple of seconds of this game now. And there is full time. Wolves 0, West Ham 0. We did have lots of shots on target, not a lot of possession. As I said before, Jose Sarr is their man of the match, and man of the match in the whole game. Does give us another point over Nottingham Forest, but a pretty quiet game for highlights. Hasn't been performing that well. He's now onto the bench with Louis Guilherme, who's a -9 potential in this game, so could be a potential wonder kid. Is wanted by Manchester United and Aston Villa, but hopefully we can keep him, give him some decent games, and hopefully he can be the difference. Playing on this right hand side for this game. Hopefully we can get some highlights in this game. John-Philippe Mateta with Ismaila Sarr, very quick. Looks like they're going to play at 4-2-3-1, which is pretty good because they usually play this 3 at the back system, which is quite difficult when I come against it, but hopefully we can get 3 points in this one. If not, it is an away game. We can get a decent point and keep ourselves out of the relegation zone. Soon, due to Cresswell, we are getting a little bit of possession. Up to 16th in the table. Just saw that in the bottom corner. Kyle Walker-Peters to Ward-Prowse. Can we get a little attack going? Ward-Prowse up to Kyle Walker-Peters. Crosses in, and Daniel Munoz, for some reason, puts the ball in the back of his own net. 4 minutes in, and we are somehow 1-0 up. We'll take it anyway. 13 minutes in, Crystal Palace playing it around the back a little bit. Mark Gay to Tyreek Mitchell, trying to get an attack started for Crystal Palace. Does get around Walker-Peters. Walker-Peters does cut back though, cuts it forward to Jeremy Pino. Going on one of their mazy runs, Kyle Walker-Peters gives away a penalty. Absolutely great. Pushes him down, looks like penalty for Crystal Palace. Right, Anthony Taylor gives the penalty, and I'm going to assume Mateta's going to take it. Walker-Peters is going to get not a booking. Looks like Mateta's given up. We actually have ball players now, so we can actually notice when Mateta is on the ball. Number 14 for Crystal Palace. 15 minutes in, and sending some hands in the wrong way. 15 minutes in, Crystal Palace 1, West Ham 1. Into the second half, James Ward-Prowse, who's pretty good at free kicks, stands behind this one. Can he get a decent cross in? Or a shot? Looks like Benitez saved that over to a corner. We got then just before half time into added time. We haven't really created much. Daniel Muno's own goal seems to be our only real attempt on target and doesn't even count. Little bit of possession for Crystal Palace. Hopefully we don't give away a penalty or something silly. Tyreek Mitchell up to Mateta, and there is Crystal Palace's goal just before half time. A little bit of a sucker punch. I guess they kind of deserve it, and there's not really much we can do about it. Here we are into the second half, 70th minute. Made a couple substitutions. Daniel Mane is back on the right wing. Guilherme just didn't have a good game. Forward to Tommy Conway, doesn't really do anything. Munoz nearly puts his ball in the back of the net. Walter Benitez does keep it out though. We'll try and launch a counter-attack for Crystal Palace. Maybe not. Here we are then, 74 minutes in. We have won it back though. Counter attack. Tommy Conway does lead it on this right hand side. Doesn't have a lot of support. Takes into the corner a little bit. Back to Walker Peters. Daniel Marlin. Back to Walker Peters. Into the box. Ward-Prowse, Sumari. Durrami hits the post. Back out to Goose. Walker Peters again. We'll launch another attack. Maybe. Goose. Not really known for his attacking, nor is John Philippe Mateta for his defending. And there we are then, at defeat at Crystal Palace. Looks like the winning streak isn't going quite well. Ward-Prowse with our best team rating, but still not even a touch on Philippe Mateta. Where does that leave the table? 33 points. Still 4 points out of the drop zone. And not that many games to play. Hopefully we can get some decent results as we end the season at next episode. Anyway, that is in today's episode. Not the results we wanted in this one, but I guess when you play a defensive formation, you're not exactly always going to get the rub of the green. Anyway, that is the end of today's episode. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.